Welcome to another edition of 68 Shining Moments presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Today, we talk to two of the stars of that VCU team that went first four to Final Four back in 2011, Joey Rodriguez and Bradford Burgess. All right, now pleased to be joined by two guys off the Cinderella team back in 2011, the VCU Rams. We'll talk to Joey Rodriguez and Brad Burgess. And guys, how you guys doing?
I'm well, good, man. I'm good.
Well, is it crazy, Joey, to think this was 10 years ago? 10 years ago that you look like, you're still 18 years old.
Yeah, it is crazy, man. It's crazy. Time flew by. It is wild. We were supposed to do this whole big 10-year event at VCU. They were telling us for the last few years. So that part of it stinks. But, hopefully next year we get over there.
Brad, I want to know what it was like, because I know you guys, I guess limped in is probably the right way to put it, into the NCAA tournament. You didn't finish as strong as you would have liked. You got knocked out of the CAA tournament by ODU, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
What was it like on Selection Sunday? What were you doing on Selection Sunday? And did you think you were going to make the tournament?
Man, we were all doing our own thing. There was no watch party. Guys weren't really trying to just think about it, had their minds, just try to put your mind on other things. I actually had gone to get, I think we were off. I had actually gone to get some Five Guys, and I came back to my apartment, and I was just sitting down. I knew the show was on, and I was getting my food ready at the dinner table, and I was like, man, let me just turn it on, see who's getting selected, see what's going on. And I promise, 2 minutes later, I see, VCU versus USC in the first four, in Dayton. And then I called my mom, and I'm like, Mom, guess what? We about to go to the tournament. And she didn't believe me for about, 5 minutes or so. But yeah, it was just and then what really got us is Joey, he lives in an apartment next door, and I just heard him screaming. He was out there running, and we have a courtyard in the middle of our building. I just see Joey and hear Joey yelling and screaming, and that whole room over there, and then next thing, the whole complex is just in an uproar. And then probably about 10 minutes later, coach calls us and tells us we got to go to Franklin Street for practice.
Was it crazy, Joey? I mean, did you think you were out going into that thing?
I actually thought we had a chance. So we played pretty much the earliest conference championship game. We played early in that week, and throughout the week, I just kept following along. We were next four out. Sometimes we weren't even on there. And everything just started going our way. Teams that were on the bubble were losing, they were getting out. Stuff just kept happening. When we got to Sunday, Jerry Palm had us in. And he had us in, not the first four, he had us in a game. So I was like, wow, we have a chance. So I was tuned in, I was locked in. Ed Nixon was watching cartoons. I was like, bro, what are you doing?
That's great.
And then once we got in, I lost my mind.
So first four, I mean, you get in there, and is it one of those things where you're happy to be there at that point, and you're just playing with house money? Or, I mean, you didn't think first four, Brad, to Final Four was a possibility, did you?
Not initially, but I knew, if we got a chance to get in, we're going to make some noise. I can't say I honestly knew that we'd go straight to the Final Four from there, but I was imagining Sweet 16, maybe an Elite 8, but obviously, we just hit the ground running and never looked back.
Yeah, I mean, you're an 11 seed. I mean, you start off and you go to Dayton, and you took care of USC pretty easily, didn't you? I mean, the first few games were pretty.
Second half. Yeah, first half was a little bit rough, but
right,
second half.
First half you start out. That's right. And then,
we got going second half.
Yeah, and then you get going second half. Then you blitz Georgetown, right? You killed Georgetown, didn't you? You're in Chicago at the United Center, and those two games were both kind of easy. I mean, am I wrong? They weren't close. Purdue?
No, it was always that end of the first half where we go on a little bit of running and come out. we'd always talked as a team. The coaching staff were good with telling us about the first 5 minutes of the second half. And, majority of those games is kind of where we kind of set ourselves apart and went on runs.
What's your favorite memory from we won't even get to the Final Four yet. What's your favorite memory from first four and maybe that first weekend in Chicago at the United Center, Joe?
Definitely, I'd probably say the Purdue game. After Purdue was supposedly the best defensive team in the country. They were really locking people up. They're playing well going into it. I think they were a 3 seed. And I mean, we're in Chicago, so it's all Purdue fans. We got like a little section across from our bench. But we got rolling that game. I remember Brad had a block shot. He blocked somebody. I saved it. They threw it back to us in transition. It's like a 3-on-1, and we pull up and shoot a 3 all net. And I'm just like, oh yeah, this is one of these games. So that was definitely your boy Robbie was on the bench. That always was. Your boy Hummel was on the bench. Luckily, he wasn't playing. But yeah, man, that was definitely the one.
Didn't you put up almost 100? Like, right? I mean, you put up a lot of points against that Purdue team.
Yeah,
a lot.
Yeah, we made a lot of shots, and the thing was that a lot of people, they in conference, a lot of teams would switch us, which would give us some problems. And we played, these bigger teams are going to do what they do, and they were leveling ball screens. We were able to come off and read rotations, and we were just lighting them up.
We'll get back to the show in a minute, but first, let me tell you about our partners over at DraftKings Sportsbook. With March Madness beating down our door, DraftKings is the best way for you to get a little action in on the game. If you've not downloaded the DraftKings Sportsbook app yet, what are you waiting for? It's the safest, it's the most secure, it's reliable, and it allows you to safely deposit and withdraw your money at your convenience. And this week, they're offering my listeners a pretty sweet deal. If you sign up now with the promo code FIELD68, you can turn $1 into $100 if one of the main event fighters in UFC 259 this weekend lands a single punch. That's it. One punch to turn $1 into $100. And don't worry, if MMA isn't your thing, DraftKings Sportsbook offers odds and promos on basketball, hockey, or whatever sport you're watching. But since they're basically giving away $100, you might as well sign up now, watch a little UFC, and remember to use that promo code FIELD68. That's FIELD68. You must be 21 years or older. The offer is available for a limited time only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Well, that was the thing. Like, teams in conference got used to playing you, right? Your style. Right. But when especially when you're playing a team on 1 day prep, really, ultimately, for a team like Purdue, that's not easy, right? Playing against you guys.
No, we're playing with house money. We're not even supposed to be there.
At that point, you are, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like you're playing loose. House money. Yeah. I mean, how much, Brad, like that whole run, and we'll go for it to the Sweet 16. That was your first like close game, right? You're playing Florida State. They take it overtime. Take me through. You were the two guys with about 10 seconds left. That play, what was it like, Brad? What were you seeing? And then Joey kind of chime in with that play and getting him the ball.
Man, like I always, when people ask me this, like in my mind, it was just always like, man, I was just like, God, just give me another chance, man. Because during the game, like I would make a good move, get past one defender, and then another guy was there at the rim, just like sending my shot back to the 3-point line. So
they had like 8-footers.
They did.
Yeah. So I was like, I need one more. Like normally, just all year long, you get past one, it's pretty much smooth sailing to the rim. But these guys, they fly around. Like everybody is, their starting lineup is 6'3" and up, and all athletic and lanky. And obviously, our deterrent was shooting a bunch of threes, which we made. And
you made a bunch of threes. You and Brandon Rosell made a bunch of threes.
Brandon made some. You made some. We had some other people make some, but
they did good again. They shut Skeen down. That was like the one team that really did well against Skeen. But I mean, let's be honest. You saved us. You and Brandon saved us that game. They won. I don't forget in the second half they won zone, and we were really worried about their zone. And the kid Rosell came off the bench, and I think he scored I think it was like 3 or 4 possessions in a row. He had like 2 threes. He got in the paint, made a crazy layup, and they got right out of the zone. That was a big stretch of the game.
Yeah.
What do you remember from that last play, Joe? The game one. You're down one in overtime, right? Down one?
Yeah, down one in overtime. Yeah, we missed a ton of free throws. I remember one time I was like crying because I missed a couple free throws.
Yeah, you missed some.
I missed a lot of free throws. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just imagining my dad in the stands like cussing me out the whole time. But we called the play.
Darius had a big game in that game too, by the way. Darius had a big game.
Darius was good. They called a timeout when we came out for the first play we were going to run. I think Coach and Kyle Getter did our inbounds plays.
Did he?
He was our double at the time, yeah. And he changed the play. We huddled up, changed the play, and I just saw they didn't come together on the switch. Brad did a good job of slipping. He was right there. He got it. He went up. It was slow motion because they had a ton of shot blockers. I know if he was going to try and dunk it or if he was going to try and lay it up.
I thought about it, man. I promise you I did.
I don't know if you know this, but Brad's nickname at VCU has been Big Shot Brad since his freshman year. We played Richmond, and he had a huge three, and like everybody gave him the name Big Shot Brad. We actually thought we were playing well that game in Richmond, and we go into halftime. I think we're up like 6. I'll never forget that Richmond game. I know I'm getting off topic, but Coach Grant lit into us that game. You remember that at halftime?
Yeah.
The Richmond game? We thought we were playing really well, good lead on the road, and like we got in the locker room, and it was like,
killed you.
I was like shocked. I was like, bro, what? I thought we were playing well. But anyways, Brad made the layup. We get back on defense. Longest 7 seconds ever. Brandenburg gets a block and blackout. Don't remember.
You're going to the Elite Eight, and you're playing Kansas now. Like you're playing Kansas. Like the Morris twins, they're loaded. I mean, they're talented. They got first-round picks. They got everything, right? I mean, this is where like the Cinderella story ends, right? That's what everybody thinks. There's no way you're going to the Final Four against Kansas, right? What was that game like? How much shit were the Morris twins talking? What was that like?
Pre-game, they were talking some junk, but it wasn't nothing crazy. To be honest with you, once the game started, man, and they went on a little run early, we responded, and I think we got their respect with how we came back and played, and just the looseness and aggressiveness we were playing with. Rizel hit the 3 in front of their bench and started talking shit to Self and everybody. Yeah. And like from that point on, we were mad confident, and that kind of just took us into the rest of the night.
Brad, you win that game. You beat Kansas. Now it's first 4 to Final Four. Like it's like the craziest story ever. I mean, seriously, it's like nobody can believe it. Because again, the first 4, I won't lie to you, like the first 4, I'm usually packing my stuff while I'm watching the first 4. I'm packing to try to get to whatever site that I'm going to. And a couple of the first 4 games are usually not very entertaining. And then there's a couple that can be. But you guys going first 4 to Final Four, like when it happened, did it hit you, Brad? Like what you would accomplish after you beat Kansas?
For sure. Like just, with our fans just being there, our families being there, and then you get in the locker room and everybody's like, man, look what's going on back home. And then you just see the whole, Broad Street is flooded with students and people from the city. It was just like an amazing feeling, man. And then we get back there, it's like 2 a.m. and our Siegel Center is just filled just with a little welcome party for everybody. Just so excited to be a part of what we're doing.
Did you guys party that night? Like, be honest. Like, what did you guys do that? How late did you sleep at all that night? What did you do?
Ask Brad if he woke up for first take in the morning.
Hey, Jeff, man. Yeah. There's an interview. It's on the internet, man. We were supposed to be in a first take interview. Ed was the only one that made it, and you can just tell by the way Ed looks on camera, man. Kind of
how that night went.
And
I still remember.
Was it worth it?
Oh man, that's
Brad, was it worth it not to miss first take?
I mean, looking back on it, it's like, damn, I could have been on first take. But I mean, when you're in the moment, man, and you're a college kid, obviously in the Final Four and just everything going on, man. At the time, it was worth it. But I mean, it was worth it.
Well, what was that week like, Joey? Going up, now you're the Final Four. Like,
yeah, I mean, it was. Is
it different now? Like, are you still just feeling like, hey, we're playing with house money? Now you got Butler. Now again, Butler's got a name to him, obviously.
Right. For sure.
But still, are you clearly the underdogs and you're just thinking like, hey, you know what, we still got house money here, even though we're playing Brad Stevens and Butler?
I mean, we were really confident at that point. Like we thought we could definitely win that game. For me personally, I was hoping it was Florida. Like Chandler was on Florida.
Yeah.
Everybody knew like how hype I was to like hopefully play them in the Final Four. So once it got in, I was kind of down already. And then, but even leading up to that,
can I add to that, Joe? Can I add to
go
that?
ahead, bro.
Just,
go ahead.
You know, working with Coach Donovan last year and Mark Dagnon was the head coach this year. You know, I was always joking with them from every now and then last year, like, man, y'all the reason why we didn't win a national championship, man.
We would have kicked their ass in that game.
All they had to do was beat Butler, man. That was the last piece we needed, the SEC team to complete the puzzle, man, and that would have been it. But yeah,
what do you remember? What do you remember about that Final Four experience? What stands out the most about the fact that, I mean, again, it's you go from anonymous, 2 weeks ago, right? I mean, 2 weeks ago, nobody knows who you guys are outside of, you know, really outside of,
for sure.
Yeah, the area, right?
Yeah, outside of
that's it.
In Virginia, where the conference.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, the conference and whatnot. And now you're like rock stars, right? Everybody wants a piece of you. What was that like?
We couldn't go to class. I mean, we couldn't really walk around on Broad Street anymore. After the parade deal, when we got back to the arena, we got police escorts everywhere. I mean, it was just like completely different, to be honest with you. Like they told us no class, you can't go to class. It was just wild, man. Like we can walk to the bookstore. There's spots that we always go and eat at. Like we're getting flooded by people, autographs, pictures, like all that stuff was great, but it was completely different for us.
Yeah.
How'd you stay focused, Brad?
Just going to the gym and like, I mean, just being honest, man. You say, you know, no class. Like I'm just gonna chill in the room, watch TV, and get on the video game, or just go to the gym.
So you didn't. Classes were canceled for you guys. Like basically, like, hey, you don't have to worry about class because.
I mean, our advisors, like Sophia, our advisor Sophia Hort, right? She's been there for a while. Was a student there. Was actually a tennis player there. You know, she's great getting us with teachers that, you know, cooperate with us throughout everything. So we were getting our work and stuff. We just weren't really in class.
Yeah. It's like these days, right? You did it, you know, virtually without the
everything's virtual
without Zoom.
For sure.
So the Butler game.
Yeah.
Give me
Still pisses me off.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, have you watched it? I know you didn't watch it up until a few years ago, maybe.
Yeah, it took me a while to rewatch that game. I probably didn't watch the full game probably until the last couple of years. You know, just to go back to your question in the beginning about just what it felt like, those pre-practices or those like shoot-arounds where it's open to the public and it's not that many people there. You know, they had like the senior game that day and stuff, and fans can come in. It's cool, and you know, you get to see just being in the big arena and stuff. But like running out there before the game, man, and you see, you know, obviously at that time it was a record, you know, almost 100,000 people, and it's just you see the one stand that's got the fans like in the football stadium, and then you kind of turn the corner and it's just a wall of people, man, just up in the heavens, and it's just like this is real. This is it. We here.
My thing was like the front row was like Kareem, President Bush, Coach K, like Boeheim, and at that time, like we never saw those dudes. We never saw any of those guys. Right. So like to see all those guys, they never recruited us anyway. But to see them at the game, like in the front rows, it was wild.
Were you nervous?
One thing I will say about the stands is part of the problem. Well, I mean, I don't know if Joe can speak on it too, but like being able to every game, you know, you're always able to locate your parents. That was probably the one game that year I couldn't find my parents. Like I had to actually like look and actively search for them.
Yeah, there was always a comfort level seeing them.
Yeah,
so
sure.
that was different for us.
Were there nerves? I mean, again, that big of a building, that big of a stage. I know again it had started to escalate for you over the course of the last couple of weeks, but that's a different, totally, you know, situation. Were
Yeah.
there major nerves or no?
Yeah, I mean, that's the one game I had crazy goosebumps going into it. It took 2 shoving Mac buckets early to be like, all right, snap out of this. Let's go to kind of get out of it. But I mean, just the whole introduction, seeing the video, the anthem, like the huge flag on the court, like all that stuff was just like completely different. Like I got wobbly legs at the time, to be honest with you, just sitting in there and like you watch this your whole life and you're actually like here a part of it. It's incredible.
Yeah. And like I'm a big routine guy, and throughout the tournament, man, we were just doing things that every game we had done, we were trying to just like, don't change it, do the same routine. And I told guys like, hey, we haven't gotten haircuts yet. Don't get no haircuts. And guess who got a haircut, Jeff?
Joey got a haircut. Who
Man,
got a haircut?
Had to, bro.
Man,
Joey
got a haircut. Man.
I got a haircut. I messed it up. Yeah. Then I shot 1 for 9.
See, you had to look good, didn't you? Had to look good.
Man, you look
thinking about the
ring.
wrong stuff, man.
Look
Thinking about the wrong stuff.
Ring, man.
It's hard once you get to that stage. It's hard, right? I mean,
better with the ring, man.
So, all right, I'll end it with this. What's the most memorable part of that first 4 to Final Four run, Joey? What was it?
I'll give you 2 things. The first one was the Florida State game. That ending was just being from Florida and going through that. Like, that was the best basketball moment I ever had, thanks to Brad mostly. But I mean, that game, that moment, winning that game that team was dominant. That's still one of the best Florida State teams I've ever seen. So to beat them when we're not playing our best game, that was crazy. And then just the whole like SB experience.
Yeah. Like
we can have a whole segment on just some of the stuff that happened and some of the people we were around and going to James Harden's house and all this other like crazy stuff.
Yeah.
The stuff I couldn't get because I was still an NCAA student.
Yeah, Brad couldn't do anything, by the way. Brad couldn't get any of the gifts or anything because he was underclassmen. He had to come back next year. So we got all the upperclassmen getting all these gifts when they're bringing you around this stuff, and Brad's just following us around. But I mean, that whole deal was awesome. And looking back on it, like doing that with all your boys that you're still friends with now, like, I mean, nobody can take that away.
How did that change your life, Brad?
And just for me, I would say, the whole tournament, like that whole month and change, like it was an outer body experience for me, I would say, just to be, brutally honest. And one of the biggest thing for me, I also would say is like the aftermath of the effect that it had on the city, especially being a hometown kid. It's the university has, flourished from it. The athletic program has flourished from it. Like every sports team, they might have had various endorsements or whatever. Everybody's Nike. Like the Spirit team is Nike. Like everybody's is getting their gear and stuff now. And I just felt like that was a direct, response to what we had done. And we got the new practice facility and, just the people that want to be connected with, those 3 letters and the black and gold is a direct relationship with our success in that season.
Well, listen, I appreciate you guys joining me. First 4 to Final Four VCU. Nobody will ever forget that. Maybe the ultimate Cinderella story, 2011. So I appreciate it, guys, and good catching up.